One is a issue around financing. How do you raise the money to do what you want to do? And typically, and I know I've said it, you've said it, you're not, this bit of the business is not a mining business. This is a recycling business. Very different model, very different cash requirements. But how important is the building of a commercial venture here, not just a demo? A demo maybe suggests you sit around waiting for people to buy, take a license opportunity from you. Commercial means you want to generate revenue, sort of be in control a little bit of your costs. Is that right?
There's, I think, and part of our business plan, there are various options that have very different financing requirements. In general, though, it's the real point of why we're focused downstream in industrial process, because it's capital light. It's in tens of millions, not billions, if we were upstream and doing mining and actually refining. So that's the first solution to the capital. We bring it orders of magnitude down. That is within the sort of financing and borrowing space that a young upstart company like we are can actually move into in a significant position. In addition to that, certainly here in the UK, we are confident that we will get that support. We've already gotten that in terms of building the demonstration plant, and we're in discussions with the government around supporting us for the commercial scale. Again, it's modest numbers from a government perspective on such a strategic step to secure that security in the country. Third, as we move to look to replicate this and accelerate it by putting other plants in critical markets in the world.
This is the licensing model you're looking at.
That could be the other opportunity. JVs, licensing.
Right.
There is a whole range then of options for us, because all of a sudden we start to become a very efficient solution for some of the larger magnet producers and other, specialist chemical or metal producers in these regions.
Okay. An important part of those negotiations, whether they be JVs or licensing, and quite frankly, if you're in kind of commercial ventures, these two bad boys, have you got economic studies on what the cost will be to produce these things?
That's what we're working on right now.
Where's that
feasibility study? We're closing in on wrapping that up over the coming weeks. So it is very, very close. But that's also a discussion tool that we're using with key stakeholders here in the UK.
Right. So, but your expectation is it's not going to be marginal.
No. I think when we acquired the technology, some of the work that was done back in 2018 sort of indicated a price range of sort of $30 to $40 a kilo in order to convert metal and magnets back to the high purity oxides.
Right.
I think we've done quite a bit of work, and we'd be sort of looking to come in under that target.
Okay.
So, I think we'd be aiming for that $25 to $30 a kilo in order to convert that feedstock to ultimately a high-value product. So if you're looking at dysprosium, that's at the moment about $250 a kilo. Okay. So there's substantial margin on that.
Yeah.
And terbium's probably around $750 a kilo.
Okay.
But, that's come down a bit over the last sort of 2 years.
Where was it during this peak?
I think it hit about $2,400 a kilo.
Right, okay. See, that's the thing. That kind of allows people to go, well, this is a high-margin project. It's something I can understand. I'm not dealing with sort of low-margin, single-digit returns on an IRR basis.
It's exactly part of this downstream strategy.
Got it.
We don't have to mine raw, the raw basket of rare earths, all 17. We're focused downstream, and particularly focused on looking at securing that product in terms of waste from magnets or offcuts, which are a much higher percentage of those two little bad boys. That is where we're looking to be much more, not just cost efficient, but also margin accretive.
Right.
Because we can selectively take feedstock that we are looking for with a higher percentage than upstream of those high margins.
In terms of, I get the UK support, and there's it's not just like the UK government. There's a lot of players that you're interacting with at the moment. Maybe you could give us some of the names in a second, but how do they support you? In what way are they? Is there going to cash available to you, or is it sort of tax credits, or how does that work for you? Because as a company, a public company, you want to keep the cost tight. You want to make sure that business model says not a lot of money needed up front, but we've got to set ourselves up for the biggest possible scale of return.
Yeah, so I think we've got a very supportive stakeholder with the UK government, and Innovate UK has been a big supporter of us. We've also had tremendous support from the APC, the Advanced Propulsion Centre. We've had a number of grants, and we've successfully delivered on those grants, which I think puts us in a strong position for parcels, packages, funding opportunities, whether that be grants or other things, and incentives to help the company cornerstone and commercialise the opportunity here in Belfast.
Okay. I'm sure we'll come back to some of those points during this conversation. So hone in on a little bit of the business model. You referenced it earlier. So obviously there's a kind of low entry point project for you, in the sense that you're not going out and blowing your brains out on a massive infrastructure build out or borrowing money that you can't afford. You're getting access to some quite interesting money, and I imagine with whatever structures you do with JV partners or people wanting to, I don't know, fund any aspect of your business, or even kind of prepay. Who knows where you guys will go. You're not going to be going back to market and raising hundreds of millions of dollars. So that is kind of interesting from that perspective. With the partners that you've got, you're going to have to get after some big balance sheet people, because they are going to have to build out their own facilities following your process, your flow sheets, etc. And you will take effectively a royalty, presumably. License, is that sort of thing, right?
Yeah, look, I mean, again, it's on a case-by-case basis, depending on who the partner is. But you're right. You need to find the right partner that can help us execute, but also we're providing a product into their strategy, supply chain, whatever that may be.
Is it clear to you where, there was a point I'm getting to eventually, are you clear where those partners are? Is there a decent-sized ecosystem in Europe? Have you got access to North America? All of those questions, because again, I want to get to that point where I've got a sense of margin, I want a sense of the scale, I want a sense of who. Have you been out there on the road, talking to these sort of balance sheet size companies that you want to be?
Yeah, look, I mean, we've been...
No more names, I know.
No, look, these discussions have been ongoing for some time.
Right. And these are the people who are testing the product now, presumably, or are there other markets too?
Look, I mean, they're looking at product, but they're also looking at the integration of the technology within their strategy.
Okay.
It's clear, Matt, this solution, supply chain and technology, is applicable for any significant industrial country.
Yeah.
And the focus we've got at the moment is certainly North America, specifically the USA.
Okay.
Department of Defense in the USA is publicly open about this being one of the most important critical metals that it must secure self-sustainability and supply on. So that's no secret. It's it's clear, it's obvious. And similarly in Europe, the big industrials, whether England, Germany, France, just start with those, are all, I think, clear in terms of government policy positions that this is a solution that they're all looking at and seems pretty attractive at the moment.
Okay, so in terms of, come back to that first mover advantage thing again, because in terms of commercial advantage, first movers is quite helpful. You're not having conversation about the theory of can we separate, clearly.
No,
right?
There's
you're doing it.
Yeah, can I have one of them?
Demo plans out the back.
The demo plan was built to demonstrate it.
Yeah.
And the 14 or 15,
yeah,
investors, funds and analysts that were here, I don't think saw anything but a demonstration of that working.
Right. Okay. And so therefore, first move advantage thing is that there's a kind of defense. I'm looking for defense and offense here. So the defense is we're ahead of the curve. Are you separating out like all 17 rare earths?
No,
just focusing on.
If you look at those four elements today represent nearly 80% of the value in the rare earth supply chain.
Okay.
And in the next 10 years, it'll be 90%. So I think, it's a huge focus.
Okay.
That one is a singular focus. That's their profitable industrial processed products. And that's the business model. That's the business we're building around.
So, this is the old Harland and Wolff shipyards, or a part thereof, here on Queen's Island in Belfast.
Right.
This is a 12-acre site, which we're working on the commercial plant feasibility study.
Yeah.
And we're working through the approvals and permitting for this site to be the home of our first recycling plant here in Belfast.
So 12 acres, big ambitions?
Yeah, there's a big opportunity here.
What are you going to do? What's the plan?
Well, so we're working on the feasibility study for a magnet recycling plant that can recycle 1,200 tonnes per annum of magnets to produce 400 tonnes of separated magnet rare earth oxides. And so we've been working on that feasibility study now. We're getting very close. We're working through the permitting and approvals with our local stakeholders here, being the Belfast Harbor, Titanic Quarter Limited, and local Northern Ireland regulators.
Yeah.
And so far, so good. We've got an indication that we've got a lot of support on fast-tracking the approvals process for the commercial plant here.
Right, and I've been around the facility, looked at what you've built already at your current plant. In terms of how that fits into this ecosystem around you, I mean, just up the road, they're making wind turbines. Yeah. I imagine that's going to be, they're going to look at you in quite an interesting way.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's a number of businesses here, and there really is the establishment of a wind energy hub, right? We've got a motivated government stakeholders here that are coming together, supporting businesses to develop capability here with the fantastic infrastructure available to us in Belfast, here at the harbour. So, we have a unique opportunity. Sometimes you can be smart in life and lucky. I think we're a mix of both. I think we've created an environment. Policy is certainly supporting what we want to do here in Belfast with the Windsor framework and what we're seeing, certainly within a supportive UK government and a framework that's being established in Europe to accelerate magnet recycling.
Okay, but talk about supportive how? Because, I think money's got to come into it, or some way of encouraging you with the bottom line. What are they doing to help you?
Yeah, look, I mean, we've had a number of meetings with government and various branches of government within the UK and Northern Ireland. They've outlined the various pots of funding and government departments who are fully supportive of what we're doing here in Northern Ireland, what we're doing around circular economy, secure, traceable magnet rare earths for automated advanced manufacturing and net zero technology here in the UK. So we anticipate, and the signalling that we've had from stakeholders in the UK government is there are a number of things and facilities that are going to be made available to Ionic Technologies and Ionic Rare Earths in commercialising this first plant here in Belfast.
Right, so their preference is that you do, I mean, this is the site behind us actually, 12 acres right behind you. Their preference is that you stay working with them here in Belfast.
Very much so. They've supported us all the way through the journey since we acquired the business in 2022. They want to see the business commercialised here in the UK, and I think we've created a great basis to commercialise it right here in Belfast, where the IP was generated, and we've got a talent pipeline that can support a lot of new initiatives in this Northern Ireland enhanced investment zone, which is being set up as well.
Which doesn't kind of discount you with your business model in terms of that licensing optionality that you've got in taking it into Europe either, does it?
Oh, look, I view this as being the first of many recycling plants as we look at scaling. Scaling geographically, but then also potentially leveraging that availability of product into further value addition in the supply chain.
Right, okay. And with regards to sort of timing of all of the above, and what are the kind of long poles in the tent for you as far as moving this thing forward?
So we're working on the feasibility study, which we're aiming to complete shortly. That is a very important tool for us to engage with UK government stakeholders here around how we support the financing and development and fast tracking of magnet recycling here in the UK. We anticipate and we're aiming to be completing the investment decision by the end of this year, and we want to be up in production in 2026, providing an alternative, secure, traceable supply of separated magnet rare earths for customers that are looking for that material right now.
Ex-China.
Yes, spot on.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Matt.